let's just get this thing started. So this is the FG stream, the end of quarter 3 stream. I'm about to fly to Newark, New Jersey to support Platinum Mike Perry in his first fight he's had since his loss with Jake Paul. So this is he's treading into uncharted territories here, doing something that his rival Conor McGregor is unwilling to do, step into the bare knuckle ring even as a businessman. So this is an important fight. So last chance to get tickets here. We've got a special on my VIP in my indicator running. Code Platinum, 40% off the VWAP Leapfrog indicators. And there's so much to talk about, man. Going into a new quarter, I got my brother with me too this week, by the way. But going into a new quarter, we have to look at everything. We have to look at every chart, every commodity, every stock, every crypto. Is there any golden egg opportunities to trade back to the Q3 VWAP, or, you know, just what are we looking at, man? So that's what this stream is for, to answer your guys' questions. If there's a ticker that you guys are thinking, you know, does this have a shot to go back to last quarter's VWAP or something, or my brother and I are here to help. Now, my brother has some news information, some news stuff that's coming at us. So let's just start there, man. So I welcome Crypto Guy on the internet. How you doing, brother?
Good. All right, let's rip through the Fed stuff that's coming up over the next couple of weeks, because it falls in perfectly with how things normally land in the final quarter of the final year of the 4-year cycle. Okay, so on Wednesday the 1st, the first day of the new month, that's normally when we do our monthly VWAP retests. It might get delayed a little bit because Wednesday we have the ADP National Employment Report. We're going to see the job numbers. And what we want is the job numbers to be lightly shitty. Not real bad where it terrifies everybody. We don't want it to be really good and then Jerome doesn't have to cut anymore. We want it to be just shitty enough to where Jerome has to keep cutting a little bit. We want the United States to have a stomachache, not AIDS. Just be lightly sick, but we can fix it with some rate cuts. So that's Wednesday the 1st. Look out for those numbers. And then the 15th and the 16th is Consumer Price Index and Producer Price Index. The CPI and the PPI, that's really the most important thing to take a look at. So we're going to be waiting for these numbers. But, I mean, I don't know if you want me to go right into the VWAP retest and the timing and how it's going to be a little bit different this time, from my opinion, but it's up to you. I can keep ranting.
Well, we got a long ass show, but yeah, we've got some important dates that you guys might want to slap an anchored VWAP on coming up. So what was that? The 11th and then the 15th?
I'm sorry. The Wednesday the 1st is the first day of the month, which you're already going to have a VWAP on that. And then the 15th and the 16th is a bunch of data. The CPI and PPI comes out.
Perfect. Okay. Well, then that makes the 1st of this next month very impactful. Just like the 1st of September was impactful for the charts. Let me pull up my charts real quick. Now, Bitcoin, we're thinking, is more bullish than a lot of other commodities. The chart looks a lot more bullish than a lot of other commodities. I was really hoping that we would get this low swept here. So one thing I'm really hoping for is before we get this retest of the monthly or see the Q3 yellow view, like before we take all these highs again, I would actually like this to not succeed and for us to come down and take this low, plunge into that rising DBSI, get that Q2 test, sweep this liquidity back here, and this would be an amazing trade back to the Q3 VWAP, just in terms of getting the best entry possible for that move. So I do have a lot of conviction that Bitcoin is going to chop back up through this VWAP gulag. It's just a matter of what's the best price we could hope for. A lot of people in my VIP were chomping at the bit, saying we're at a strong low, which we definitely were at a strong low from back here. You know, we had that strong declining 5-day trend holding us back last couple days, but it looks like bulls were able to come out and get that weekly leap going here right out the gate of the new week here on Sunday. So this is interesting price action. Usually when you get an early leap, so we're going into October, guys, and yet we're already at the September monthly VWAP here almost. It's not what I really love to see. I love to see big gaps like we go into October, and it would have been nice to have been down here at the start of October. Then you take that big trade up. A lot of times trying to make early leapfrog calls gets you burned. But in this case, a lot of you guys in the VIP caught this move, so congratulations. When we zoom into the smaller time frames, there looks to be a little bit of a daily leapfrog going on Bitcoin. You know, if we lose the week to date here, you may fall down to yesterday's VWAP. We are pumping out of a declining 5-day downtrend, guys. It's a big downtrend, and you pump up out of it kind of unnaturally simply to hit some volume from last week. It's hard to say how sustained this move is, but if I was a bet man, I would say this kind of settles down and it either goes sideways up or we form a new weekly low. Now that we're in a new weekly session, I think a new low is potentially possible, and I would love to see it because that is a better long entry. But what's your take, brethren, on Bitcoin? Let's pull up your chart.
All right, Bitcoin here. Let's see.
We got some chart recommendations in the chat.
We'll certainly get to those after our introductory spiels. So
Yes.
with Bitcoin, if you get a little bounce to 113, 114, I'm looking for a rejection first. I do want that new low to test your Q3, maybe a little lower, like 107-ish, 106. That's when I get real interested. That will take a little time. It might even be through the first week of October, because the real bull attempt isn't when the month starts in the middle of the week. You're looking for the first Monday open of the month. That's October 6th. That's when I think the bulls take their real swing at it. And then, I don't know if you're dating a white girl, should tell you when the next full moon is, but I think it's also October 6th. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys use the moon indicator, but it's been more accurate than not lately. And I think that's when you get your shot, when the move begins, is October 6th, or right around there. So we'll see how this jobs report goes on the 1st. It'll definitely give us a little bit of clarity. We're just looking for more evidence that we'll get 2 more cuts this year. So the end of October, and then another one like early December. But I think the new low, just one more shot, one more screw job to like 107 is what I'm looking for. And then we go up.
You bring up such a good point about the dates, man. So yeah, like this Monday that we're about to start, like right now, is the only Monday we got until deeper into October. It's just like you said. So that's a brilliant observation in terms of the weekly VWAP price action activity. Like, it might be till the 6th. Basically, if there is a big move, it would happen around today's daily candle, or it would like wait till a week from now. That's kind of what like the VWAPs and the timing of the Mondays around the new month are kind of saying, because that's when you get that big move, is when the weekly and the monthly sessions are kind of both happening at the same time. So maybe that's why we're rallying so quick to the month to date now, because if we don't do it now, then the price would have to do it a whole week from now. So I should have probably been more observant of that, because we were really good about catching that time confluence of the weekly and monthly combo there at the start of September. But this month was a little bit of a wonkier transition. But we can take a look at ETH real quick. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum in the same boat, guys, pumping out of a declining 5-day MA. looking like it's slowly repairing that 5-day trend, potentially for a run up to the month to date. But it also has some supports down here. Let me zoom out a bit. A sad reality about this Ethereum chart, guys, is like we still have not come down to test last quarter's VWAP. So it's hard for me to say if ETH is wildly overperforming and it's just not going to get that textbook VWAP test, but usually it does. Usually cryptos, especially an altcoin, would get this critical test. And yet here we are riding into Q4 already, and we haven't gone down and tested this Q2 VWAP really even once. So, you know, we were right about this ETH crash down to the Q3 VWAP, but is there a whole nother leg down to this thing? It's crazy, but it's crazy to think about because that's a long way down. But we are still on a 5-day downtrend on these cryptos. So, you know, if it were up to me, man, I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but if it were up to me, the ultimate best scenario would be like we nuke again the first few days of this week off of this Monday new week action, and then, you know, maybe there's some bullish action next week. But what do you think about Ethereum, man?
Yeah, similar story as the Bitcoin chart. You said it.
But I mean, look what's bullish here though overall. Like I want this to come down, but you guys have to admit that the Q3 VWAP here will be an attractive level going into Q4. So like going into October, I'm just hoping that we go as low as possible for the best price back up to this yellow line, you know? So it's not that I'm not bullish for next quarter. I am quite bullish for next quarter. It's just a matter of getting the best price for my VIP. Like, it's tricky, man, you know? So, like,
Right.
I have to look at the chart and I have to say, like, make a tough decision. Like, there are some levels over here I really hope get taken. If not, you know, it's tricky to tell other people, and even like do this myself, to catch the halfway mark of this jump to the upside, right? So, to any of you guys that are already positioned in this low, that's really nice. But you do have that 5-day downtrend to worry about for now, and some potentially like way more attractive targets to long down lower. So I wouldn't lose hope. I wouldn't, if your longs get stopped, I wouldn't lose hope. I would only kind of have more conviction of like the eventual bullish pump back to that Q3 VWAP for Bitcoin, and also Ethereum here getting that monthly leap. So yeah, man, just catching up on the
dots.
Yeah, man, there was some
Green dots on dailies. Yeah.
Yep, it's coming early, man. It's coming early, and I think, like we said, it's because the Monday is coming like 2 days before the new month, and so we're seeing the move happen today, a little bit early. It's a premature birth of a bullish move. So we'll see if it can sustain, man. Just catching up on some comments. Love to see all you guys in. Hope your trading's going really great. My trading's been going really great. I want to talk to you guys about some of the Aster plays that I was making. But I see a lot of you guys in here. Dana, Sala, Edward Park, Clate the Great, Trader HLC, Arc Signal, The Future, Smashy, all you guys. Smashy says he's short. Nice, man. I actually have a little short too. I'm trying to catch the daily leap on Bitcoin. Nothing insanely high confidence, but I have a little short going, trying to catch that daily leap on Bitcoin myself, man. Effin Dollar says, hey, Nick, I recently got the leapfrog and the VWAP labels do not appear on markets that are closed. Would this be fixed in the future? There's not much I can do about the labels not appearing on certain charts. It just kind of has limitations. I don't know if it's like the live data feed or whatever, but I do color code the VWAPs to be very simple. Like Q1 is purple. Year to dates are going to be purple. Q2s will be red. Q3s will be yellow, and then Q4s will be blue. And your weekly VWAPs are orange, and your daily VWAPs are green. So very sorry about the lack of labels appearing, but on most charts they do appear. They may just take a minute to appear. Rye Guy is a fly guy says weekly MACD making me nervous. Weekly bear divs. Yeah, man. One thing we haven't really talked about much on the stream yet is market cipher. So when we look at Bitcoin on the weekly, thanks for bringing this up, Rye Guy. We are staring some really scary signals, like right down the barrel here. The weekly here, an overall kind of bearish divergence with money flow, even though it's still green. Momentum waves kind of tapering out a little bit. This last wave, very choppy and also not really getting over that 60 line. Struggling to get over that 60 line. RSI is potentially losing market strength, kind of falling below 90 there. Potentially like hitting that 90 level as resistance here on the weekly on Bitcoin. So it's a scary time to be an oscillator trader. Oscillator traders are punching air right now because it's like when this thing should crash 50% based on these signals. If it was bull markets of the past, even a two-headed wave on the monthly would have been the end, you know? So we got this third head. How much crazier can it go? What do you guys think? Is it all over? Is this the last hoorah? Is this the red dot of doom right here? And then we go down 50%?
Hang on. If you look at September 21 to December 21 on the weekly, you're looking at a similar scenario where it looked like we were getting an anchor trigger wave to the downside at the end of September. And then look what happened. You got an abrupt green dot, and then that was the mega surge through October and November. We're in the same scenario. So normally, yeah, looking at monthly and weekly is something you would refer to if you're just a spot trader sitting on a 6-month or 10-year investment. But with the trading, where we are in this cycle, this is all playing out the way it has 3 times in a row. So I'm not going to worry too much about larger timeframes like weekly, 2-weekly, monthly, because it doesn't know what's happening in the market right now other than the data it's already gotten.
It gives a good macro read. It has been like undefeated in the past, like a two-headed wave. The second red dot was the end of Bitcoin runs in the past. So this cycle has been a little different. But look what we're dealing with here, guys. What is different about this cycle than previous ones around the market cipher monthly waves? Well, the Heiken Ashi trend is very strong still. Like, look at this. So we are still getting momentum even on like smooth Heiken Ashi, and it just simply takes time for a trend like this to shift. This is a big cruise ship and you're telling it to turn around. You got to convince a lot of people that that's the case before that's the case. Not to say that when the top is finally in, let's say we hit 150 or 140 or something, 135 or wherever we go, it's going to like almost immediately snap back to these smooth Heiken Ashis, you know? So that's how bull markets end, is they end in a bang. And it's a fast, like 40% crash, followed by a slow bleed that bleeds you out over like a year or two or whatever. So, you know, we are definitely in the part of the bull run where like if you're starting to sell, like you're totally valid, but you also got to admit that we got a lot of momentum here still. Whereas in prior runs, you know, it took a while for that momentum to die. So we would have to see, for that momentum to die, we would have to see like a 50% crash or something like that on Bitcoin, which is hard to think about. But yeah, man,
I'm not even saying that we're bullish for the next 6 months. I'm saying the next 2 months is bullish. And then I agree with you. The party's probably coming to a close middle of December, because, you know, people sell, they buy your Christmas presents, and then you got taxes after that. So October, November is when you make your money. That's the finale. December, you start looking to get out. So, and then your weekly and monthly scary picture that Market Cypher's playing, that does come into play, but you have a little more time to make the most amount of money. And we're right before that. It's like there's 10 more feet of that shit pipe before you break out. Remember Shawshank Redemption? You're almost at the end. So don't give up right now. Don't think the bull run's over. The last part, the climax, is right around the corner. So just play it cool. You got another week to 2 weeks before it really kicks in.
Yeah, that's powerful, man. I think that even if Q4 is a laggard, the start of next year should be something, you know. And when I look at Bitcoin, this thing, obviously, like, the money flows are kind of trending out, but that doesn't mean it's gonna fight as it's dying. It's as it gets cornered, it's gonna have its last few fights, and that can be where a lot of that bonus bull run froth lies, in that when the oscillators get thin and the market participants get more and more scared, and it gets riskier and riskier. Bitcoin, compared to a lot of commodities, just looks very strong. Like, we're zoomed in and we look at Bitcoin all the time, but we can observe here that Bitcoin never once has tried to go down to last summer's VWAP, since we already went back there in March/April, and it's holding very strongly over a daily DBSI uptrend. It's holding over last quarter's VWAP, and we did already test that back in June, so it's like debatable whether we really need to go down there. And like, let's look at some other commodities. Like, I mean, the obvious ones are gold. Gold is like even more bullish than Bitcoin this year, right? So this is a bad example, but you know, this is an example of a chart that's also trending really well on its Q3 and does not need to go back to the last summer's VWAP. Whereas some of these other commodities like lumber, see how lumber gets this strong undulation, like, back? It's like you want to long below all VWAPs, sell above all VWAPs, and just play the range. So it's a lot more choppy of a commodity chart. That's actually like more favorable for leapfrog trading, in my opinion. I made a post on Twitter about this, but this was a call that I made like when we were down here underneath 2 year-to-dates, 2 purple VWAPs here. That's like a very easy call there on that commodity. I mean, you come down, you take that liquidity, you're under 2 year-to-dates. It's really good value. You had rate cuts coming later in the year too, so this was a nice bottom on lumber. That's the kind of move that I like to catch on charts, and you see them all the time. Like right now, on crude oil, we were clinging to the bottom of all VWAPs just recently, so I'm pretty bullish on this. I think that going into Q4, we'll probably be back here or even above all these VWAPs here. So I'd say out of all the commodities, other than gold and silver, obviously, because they're just mega bullish, the metals are doing great. But crude oil is like another one that, instead of like betting on momentum, you're kind of just betting on this just being very oversold under all those lifetime VWAPs there. And this chart just likes to spike up to the top of them, dump to the bottom of them. It just ranges in that VWAP range. And of course, there's cattle futures. I don't know if you guys remember that nursery rhyme video that I made like years and years ago, but I made that nursery rhyme video back in 2017. Imagine if I actually was not trolling and I, instead of buying Bitcoin, I just bought cattle futures. I wouldn't have needed to make this YouTube channel. I could have just gotten rich off cattle futures. But yeah, man. So commodities, I'm really looking at them, man. If they're not super overperforming, then they range beautifully around their leapfrog VWAPs here. Are you taking a look at any commodities, brethren? Do you mess with commodities at all?
No, I get too stressed out trying to stay on top of news and politics to trade that stuff. I do stocks and crypto instead. It's stressful enough.
I hear you, man. Investing in commodities is weird. It's like, do I buy bars of gold? But you don't have to do that. You could find a stock in that sector and just invest in that. And that's a way to invest in a commodity before the product slash material slash Bitcoin or whatever is even mined from the earth. So you don't have to buy like barrels of soybeans. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How's wheat doing this week? Come on, man.
Your option expires and they dump a semi truck of coffee beans on your driveway or some shit. I don't know how all that works, but you could just invest in a coffee company, or like if you like gold, you could invest in Newmont. And that was something that I've been, instead of buying gold, look, invest in a mining stock. This thing since Q3 began has just demon pumped 50% with no pullback. I mean, these are the stocks to look at. You look for a commodity that is either bottomed out or is just the new hot thing, and you look for like promising companies in that sector. That's a really good way to capitalize. But I'm gonna be doing more commodity plays in the future, but I will show you guys in this video just my track record with commodities is actually quite good. I'm very rare when I do a commodities call, but when I do, they play out. So crude here, just looking at this chart, you know that thing's gonna chop up back into that VWAP gulag, and it did. This trade ended up playing out. And that was December last year. Silver at the start of the year, silver was down at the year to date. Look at silver now. Let me pull up silver now. So I posted that picture back here. See this little double bottom here, brethren? Hitting that DBSI line there. So that was that long play. You know what I'm saying? That thing hit. So look, it took that high. Gotta keep switching here, but look, it came up and it took that high. So that was an amazing silver call. And it's so much different than cryptos, because cryptos, like if I tell you to believe in Ethereum, I'm telling you to believe in Vitalik playing World of Warcraft, not going to the gym, and we're just hoping things go up. Whereas with silver, it's like, ooh, it's silver. It's actually like a real, it's hard money. It's like you can kind of bet on that chart. Once it's cooled off to a cheap price, like it's actually cheap. But I call it a little nat gas short. I don't just do the longs. I see the shorts sometimes, like a new year to date comes, you get a bear div, and it just looks so obvious that it wants to go back to the VWAPs, man. At this point, now this post here, I was warning people that some of the overperforming commodities were looking toppy, and this post ended up being wrong. These commodities kept overperforming. So I learned a lesson there, is to stick more to catching bottoms on commodities instead of calling tops, unless you're really certain or you're okay with the risk. But yeah, this was the best call, the lumber call in like May. Catching this bottom right here. You can see this little uneven butt cheek here, that Jason Casper uneven butt cheek. So I can find that on the chart. And look, that was from that point. That was like a major low. And lumber went up 30%. So far, the commodities track record has been great in the VI. That's it. I only had like 6 plays all year. But that's what I intend to keep it like. So I'm gonna keep up on that. It's kind of a new sector that I've been watching, but it seems to be working really good with the VWAPs guys.
And it's good to have exposure of completely different markets. So like tech and lumber are the opposite sides of the planet. So if one's sleeping, the other one's awake. It's cool to have your fingers in both sides like that. So good for you. But yeah, I see the charts and I go, oh, I should have caught that. Especially when it comes to crude oil. I watch that for fun because it matches like politics over the world. But I should get more involved with trading that stuff too.
Well, look at crude. I mean, lifetime, this is a lot of years that we're looking at on the chart. It's been cooling off for a long time. And that could change in like a macro way because we took this low here. We took this low here. And so for the last couple years, we've been in a VWAP gulag. Like spiking to the top, dumping down, spiking up, dumping down. So that's the current environment for crude, but that may not be the case for long, man. Like, we just tagged this low here. This could be what I'm saying, I guess, is that this low that it's at right now, yes, you know, if I entered an option on this, I would probably be taking my profits up here at the year to dates, right? But I'm just saying, like, even though the DBSI is red and this is an overall downtrend, this could be the bottom because we just tagged that low, and that could be like the bottom, you know? So I'm gonna be trying to tackle a crude oil play somehow. I haven't done one before, but I'll have to figure that out. I know a lot of you guys are talking about gold. Someone was asking about bearish quarterly leaps on gold and silver and all these things, and it's up to you if you want to try to end this bull run, you know. Typically, like, you want to look for a chart that is behaving well, has a good track record of doing those types of moves. So if we see some weakness going into next quarter, maybe, you know, but silver is going to have obviously like a lot of bearish leapfrogs going for it, going after it in October. We would just have to see if certain VWAPs hold. Like, if there's a sharp correction in October, now you're under 2 month to dates, it makes the deeper corrections much more likely. Personally, it seems to me like there's just a very strong narrative around gold and silver, and so I'm not really I'm really not trying to like short those things, especially when there's other commodities charts that are looking good. But I could be wrong, you know. Gold, shit, I mean, it could be topped out. It's just I'm not trying to bet against gold and silver right now, man. It's been super hot.
I don't see why you would.
Yeah, it's you can't be religiously married to shorting every, you know, catching every leap. It's, you got to look at the charts that are actually doing those types of moves. Like cryptos, Bitcoin likes to do it, but even Bitcoin's been pretty bullish here, hanging over that Q2 VWAP. Oh my gosh, we got to go over Aster. So Aster, what is this looking like? Ah, okay. Well, I'm actually starting to see some strength dig in. I really like how this low got tagged and then we're coming back up. You know, this is worrisome here, the 5-day trend. You know, that thing tapering down into a downtrend, and also the lifetime VWAPs here, the support that we've bounced on twice. Very important support. I would say that if we fell below these VWAP supports and this 5-day trend was sloping down, I would get out of Aster for the time being and wait for a 5-day uptrend. Wait for better prices, because it could go much lower. Maybe it needs to tag like this low down here or something. So while it, you know, it's plunged into a rising 5MA, so it's got a chance that it could fight its way out of this. But you guys just got to be mindful that Aster is not what it was here. You know, it's not like plunging into a freshly rising 5MA with this very obvious like short to medium term bounce that could turn into something bigger. That didn't turn into something bigger. That larger long idea got stopped out, and you would have been wise to take your profits here. So, you know, the fact that some bulls have already gotten wrecked makes me a little scared to jump into the battlefield and just long this thing. I would like to see the 5-day trend repair and hope, like, potentially get some better prices, because even though this is a promising DEX, it's a promising project, potentially. Could be the next Hyperliquid or whatever. There's a lot of insiders and people who like got in on the coin before us, before it was even listed. So like this bottom right here may not even be, we may go below this price, this 50 whatever price that I have here on the chart. Don't get fooled by the exchanges, the exchange data. Like, this is zero. This is not zero. This is 55 cents. the chart could easily go lower than this line right here. So, you know, knowing the risks, I would say wait for a rising 5MA for like long-term invest type stuff if you're like trying to jump in on this trend. But it was some good trading. I did have a really nice Aster call. Check it out. I said it's tapping down into freshly rising 5MA. Back down there, I said it was getting its first green dot of its lifetime on the hourly chart. So we caught that move. I made a couple gray on that move. I closed 3,000. This was a partial close. I had like 600 left, and I was thinking about letting it ride, but then it started dumping more, so I just closed the rest, and I took 3K from Aster. So nothing crazy. I know some people made millions and shit, but I came in there, sliced and diced for you guys. I gave the people what they wanted. And let's go into the chart recommendations. Let's just jump right into it. It's our last stream of Q3. The last stream of September. Wake me up when September ends. Trav Desov. He's got a lot of recommendations here. Let's see.
I'll do cookie for you, CT.
So it looks like Trav Desov wants me to look at GDX, which is, it looks like a gold ETF, a gold mining ETF. I wish I knew what exchange. I'm not familiar with these charts, man. But overall, I'm quite bullish on gold and bullish on gold stocks. But I mean, it's not like I'm buying any fresh positions. Like I already profited off of NEM earlier this year. So it's hard for me to tell you to just, you know, invest in this chart going into a new quarter when you are vulnerable to like just like a short-term kind of correction, since you do have this junction in time that's so important. You may want to return like down here, or maybe the monthly view up, depends on the size of correction. But with these bullish gold charts, I would say that if you wanted to short, don't go for more than a monthly leap, because these quarterly leaps, they ain't really happening. Like look what happened in Q3. Like we didn't even go down to that red line back here. We just floated and kept going up. So gold has a track record lately in this run of gold and gold stocks and gold ETFs have a history of kind of fading the leapfrog moves. And let's look at Cookie. I don't know what Cookie is, but that's some crazy shit, man. You take that. I got your screen showing here.
Okay, if you're thinking about investing in Cookie, stop it right now. If you're looking to do some quick moves here, your weekly retest. Geez, what is that? About 11.5. Your monthly retest. Let's say October 6th or whenever it is, then our next big jump and everything moves up to test its VWAPs. Your target for Cookie would be 12.5. But this is a sinking ship, so just get out of it overall. Like trade something else. Good luck, brother. Is anybody home?
Yeah, I was muted, sorry. But yeah, man, that chart is you know, give him some
bad.
milk. This guy likes his milk and cookies. What are you, Santa Claus, bro? You milk enjoyer? That's what you are for making us look at this chart.
I mean, everybody gets a shitter. I want to be proven wrong. Like next week, Cookie's worth the $2, and it's Jeff Bezos's personal favorite coin or something. Then you can come make fun of me. But I'm looking at this chart. I don't know what this is. It just looks like it's dying. I'm sorry, my man.
Any other chart recommendations in the meantime? There's sort of some stocks that have been doing stuff like Tesla has been for some reason just going crazy, trying to like go for its highs again. But I do know that Tesla is like a kind of an overvalued stock for like how much revenue it pulls in.
It's always been that though.
And it's always, I mean, it's just like a hot cultural, Tesla's like a cultural stock. It's like hard to explain, but yeah, it's got a big cult behind it. Yeah, I mean, there's some levels here for you guys if you think it's gonna have a tough Q4, but I haven't really messed with Tesla. It's very unpredictable whether it's like gonna underperform or just come out of nowhere and just go crazy, man. But you know, look at the start of this year on Tesla, that year-to-date leapfrog. I can't wait for like the new year plays, because I'm a little more confused about this Q4 junction than I am about quarterly junctions in the past. It screams to me like the new year is going to give us a lot of trades. So, you know, if these trends continue up into the new year, we're so far away from the year to dates, it's insane. So, who knows, man? But got some other recommendations. We got Baba. I don't know what Baba is, man. Is this
Alibaba.
Oh, Alibaba.
Big money, big money.
Yeah, let's take a look, man. This is okay. This is an interesting chart. Looks like Alibaba was in like this large sideways range for a very long time since COVID, and it's kind of breaking out of it. Now, I don't know about Alibaba earnings reports. I don't know what government contracts Alibaba has. I don't know anything about Alibaba.
Why would you pick Alibaba over Amazon if you're in the US? Maybe the chat can explain that.
It's like AMD versus Nvidia, though. You know, it's got that it's the alternative. It's got that market fit for sure. You know, it's got plenty of reason to go back to the all-time high. Speculatively, your weekly DBSI trend just flipped green for you. I would say this is like macro, like lifetime bullish. It's just a matter of where are we in the month to month, quarter to quarter, week to week undulations. So we have come up a long ways for quarter three. You know, you would expect a little bit of a pullback. I wouldn't tell my aunt to buy it right now. I would tell my aunt, you know, maybe you could get some down at 120 or 135 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's some Chinese, it's some hee hee hoo hoo, I dump on you, stupid.
You're running into
eye.
some volume. Yeah, I'd be looking for a pullback kind of soon on that. You're running into some previous volume around 170-ish. Maybe it goes up to 200 and gets rejected there. But yeah, I probably wouldn't long this right now.
Travdasov wants me to look at MP, which is, I believe this is the right one, Materials Corporation. Money flow coming out, potential double top, losing 2 monthly VWAPs. We're on the risk of losing 2 monthly VWAPs. As Q4 begins, you might want to be down here at the Q3 VWAP. So it might be just on its way to having a healthy correction. Whether it holds at that Q3 or needs a deeper cut down to the Q2, down at $50 is tough to say. Don't know much about MP. Just formed a totally new high, so the types of moves that I want to tell my audience to get into are the things that are low, not at all-time highs. I know these charts are crazy, but you know, the time to make this call was April, May. I wish I knew about this chart in April, May, man.
Lululemon, eh?
You want to take a look at Lulu, bro? I've been hogging them all. You can have one.
Perhaps I could. Perhaps I could. Let me just put some VWAPs on this real quick. Okay. 'Cause 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 ' Just in this range, kind of. All right. How does Lululemon perform when it's cold out? Does anybody buy those leggings? Yeah, like how does it do during December? Its earnings reports have been solid overall, and yet the price isn't doing so hot. Is there some news about Lululemon I don't know about? Otherwise, you have a yellow X you could clear on the daily, but that could take months. Your upwards September retrace, we're there already. Your quarterly, we've kind of gotten there already. I don't know. I mean, unless there's something that I'm just not aware of that's easy for
let me take a
Lulu.
look. Let me take a look here.
Okay. Otherwise, I'd probably do a call on this to like 2:30 and then get out. But that's just pure speculation. I don't really know much about these guys, other than the ladies look nice.
All right. Well, so looking at the monthly, there's enough data here to generate a DBSI, and we actually just hit the 200 month moving average here. That's kind of crazy. That's a crazy interaction potentially. You are like at this old low pretty much. Also his strike, he said his strike is 200, so he's not asking for much. He's asking for, what's he asking for here? I think you're
200
being,
doable.
it looks like
Yeah.
he's asking for a simple quarterly leap at the gate of Q4 on just a very oversold yet promising stock. You know, it could pay off for you, man. It could pay off bigger for you. But I think you're right to just take the short-term momentum play and just go for that $200 strike. I think you're on the right path, man. I think it's I don't know anything about their, you know, they have good earnings. I suppose if the new quarter came and there was a dump and you took that low, that would still be pretty promising, you know? So even if you dump from where you're at now back down to that low, there's probably a rally back up to that yellow Q3 VWAP, back up to your strike. It's a little tricky, you know. I would have liked to see some strength over like a monthly VWAP first. Does it have that yet? It doesn't really have that yet, but it's getting there, man. It's actually doing it right now, man. It's putting the work in to get over that monthly VWAP. You're battling a declining 5-day MA.
On the weekly, you got snake eyes.
Look at that money flow curving up there on the 5-hour. Yeah, man, I think that as, you know, as the monthly VWAPs flatten out and this thing gets over those monthly VWAPs, it's going to be a lot more certain of a larger cut up into that gulag there. But, you know, typically when you're buying charts that are promising under the VWAP gulag, sometimes you get that whole rip to the top side of it. I mean, this Lululemon could be up at $300 by the start of next year. You know, like it may rally back up to these prior 2 years year to dates at some point in the next 3 to 6 months. So it's at good value, man. If you believe in the company, it's at really, really good value underneath 2 years year to dates. And with that, we'll move on here. Let's take a look at Webull. This is a very interesting situation happening here on Webull. Looks like out the gate in April, we had a massive pump and dump wick. Oops, I just trolled my chart. Okay, here we go. Webull's currently at lifetime VWAP resistance right now. This is a very important region that it's chewing its way out of. But we're already here at resistance, so you know it just got its bullish monthly leaps. It's breaking out of the Q3, and it's gonna be at that lifetime VWAP going into Q4. There's probably going to be a little pullback back to the Q3 VWAP, but overall it's bullish. Overall it's pulled its 5-day MA into an uptrend. Overall. But yeah, breakout retest of this lifetime VWAP would be a great sign. Right now it's hitting its head on there. So it's not out of the woods yet, but it's out of position where if you were someone who believed in it down here and you got some options, you're already in the money and it's looking real good for you. Good chart, man. Nope wants me to look at UPS.
I think BNB's back at 1,000. Holy shit. Oh.
Well, this is a large downtrend that we're in on UPS. Have we taken this low? We are taking this low from back here. This is good value on UPS. When this thing starts ripping, you're going to regret not getting this thing. It's just, I don't know the fundamentals. I don't know if they got some bad press or some shit going on, but you know, it's coming down. It's coming down real nice, man. You're not telling my people to buy at all-time highs. It's crashed 65%. UPS, do people even like get mail anymore? Isn't that like dying?
Wait, compare that to FedEx. Let's see who's doing better, at least in the stock market.
Looks like FedEx. Looks like FedEx is. But now FedEx actually does look pretty strong since Q2 has been building traction on that Q2 VWAP. It kind of looks like it wants to go back to last year's year-to-date up here at like 250 or whatever, but yeah. Yeah, UPS is in a massive downtrend, man. It's that's a lot to undo, but yeah, you are sweeping that low. It's a good time to look at it for sure. How's the monthly looking? Big blob of money flow just pouring out, going into red money flow on the monthly. Getting a lot of BitBoy green dots. Getting a fresh red DBSI. I would have to wait for a little bit of strength, guys. I would have to see a monthly doji at least. See some traction on the new monthly VWAPs to pounce. I don't usually just buy when the chart looks like this. I like to see like a green candle, you know what I mean? Like something starting to manifest. A lot of stocks tonight. A lot of stonk traders in the chat. Let's see.
Did you say Krispy Kreme doesn't do a dividend anymore? Yeesh. Circle in the drain. Good donuts, though. What happened? Did they just overextend themselves?
That's what I was thinking about Costco. I had a feeling, like I was looking at the Costco chart, brethren, and I was getting scared for it. Like, are they about to raise the price on the hot dog, and you think that could like nuke the price by like 80%?
That's the last thing standing up to inflation.
It really is, man. I really feel like that's like a bearish catalyst if Costco lowers the price of their hot dog, even by 5 cents.
Or increase it, you mean? Yeah.
Yes, increase.
Okay, well, are you looking at Costco? Yeah, you are. Okay. We're at right around 900 has been a nice little bounce point there. If you're just looking to invest, I think Costco's always been a good company.
They got their stuff together, man. They're in a lifetime DBSI uptrend, holding over the year to date, and we're falling. I think if we fall below the year to date and take these lows, that's probably a good bid. Because it's probably going to just shoot right back up. Trav Desov wants us to look at D-Nut. Oh, that's Krispy Kreme. You want to take Krispy Kreme, bro? Let's take a look at that Krispy Kreme.
My trading view just freaked out. I don't know what's going on. Try this again. Yeah, it's dead. Hang on. Brother.
I just went to Costco the other day. It's so nice, man. People, everyone's smiling at you, saying hello.
Yep. That membership keeps the riffraff out.
People are like, you can cut me in line. It's like, oh,
Okay,
thanks. I
I'm
will.
looking at Krispy Kreme. Okay, so we're thinking of investing in Krispy Kreme. You're gonna have to tell me why in the chat, because I don't see a reason why looking at this chart.
Are you bullish on fat people or bullish on what are you bullish on? Let me take a look here.
There are too many options for fat people, and that used to have a Krispy Kreme on every corner. I mean, they're opening like 3 in one airport, and now you can't find them anywhere. They overextended. They couldn't fill the place with good employees. Then they had to contract big time. That was the story of Krispy Kreme the last I checked. And now it looks like they had to get rid of their dividends just to keep the lights on. So then I'm looking at your chart here, and I'm going, ugh. I mean, maybe you bounce back up to $8, but I don't see why. Technically, or like there has to be some catalyst to push them out of the gulag here.
Yes,
See
the
3.5.
The gulag. Let me pull up.
Yeah, we're making new all-time lows.
Yes. It's very oversold. It's under all its VWAPs. It's looking grim.
It's between this and Cookie for the shitter of the night. I don't know. I mean, at least you can eat a Krispy Kreme. Cookies, like, not even real cookies.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when I look at Krispy Kreme and I'm trying to zoom into this like monthly VWAP situation, it just looks like a constipated mess going on here. If it reclaimed like the Q2 VWAP and was closing over like 369, I would be a lot more confident in it going up higher. Right now, it's got this kind of like overall downslopeness to the 5MA, which could change for sure. Right now, it kind of looks still downtrodden, like it's still got a little bit of work to do to get over the 2 monthly VWAPs, and then it does look promising. But I don't know if it's like lifetime bullish. I would definitely want to take profits at the last quarter's VWAP or the year to date or something. Yeah, if you're lucky, you could get this price.
I just yell at them when someone brings up a chart, and I go, "You idiot!" And then you go over it like, "Well, maybe there's some chance here." Like, I like the good cop, bad cop thing we're doing here.
Yeah, that's why I like having an additional voice, because we get to cover all the emotions. We get to squirm and worm and say everything that's going to happen, so you can't pin us down for saying any one thing because we're worming and wriggling. But and that's how it should be, in my opinion. I had this thought the other day. If you watch one of my videos or if you watch one of my streams and you don't know if I'm bullish or bearish, then I've done a good job. Because it should just be, because we're just looking at data. We're just looking at VWAPs. Okay, it might go up to this VWAP or something. Like, I can't be too biased because I want to give you guys just the data and you make a decision. So
that's a good way to do it.
One example that I like just recently, I was in my last few videos when we were still up here on Bitcoin. I told you guys, like, going into Q4, we could be taking the highs or we could be taking the lows. But, you know, depending on which one we're doing, there's going to be a reversal trade back to that Q3 VWAP, right? So we did happen to go down, not up. You know, so I'm glad that I was flexible. If I was rigid and unmoving in the idea that we had to go up, then I would have gotten wrecked. That's not what a good analyst does. A good analyst has to stay on his toes and be ready for different scenarios, and you need to have options for how you're going to react to the market.
Statement. Yeah.
So I didn't catch this long though, because we didn't take that low. We didn't hit the Q2 VWAP. It's not really my cup of tea to kind of just go off hopium, but I am very happy for you guys that got in on this move. It looks like it's happening early because of the weird timing of the Mondays going into this new month. So I probably misgauged that, but it's all good. I was murdering it on Aster and doing pretty good this week myself. I did struggle with the funded. Like earlier this week, my funded account was basically just cannon fodder for my Bybit account, and that shit got hammered. And then like I was able to make that money back on the Bybit account with my own money, but it does feel bad like losing a funded account. But I went through a period of time where I had like a 25% win rate trying to catch a bullish weekly leap. So I was glad that I had that funded account to kind of soak up that time, because all that trading I did, what was my risk? It was just the $500 from that funded account challenge. So
Were you able to take any profits out of it before it went down?
no, man, I was up 2,500. So the account was up to like 52.5K, and I fell below 50K and then lost again. So it's on like purgatory right now. Like it's got like $600 until I have to like reduce the size a lot and like build it up over time. It's kind of like, it's not bombed. I didn't fail the challenge, but
Okay. Well, maybe you'll get it back.
well, the good side of it is, like I said, like all that trading I did on that account, all those mistakes I made only summed up to a $500 mistake. You know, like that's so
That is
valuable.
good.
And then the days
Yeah.
went on and certain moves became more clear, and I was able to hit those easy freebie moves with my own money a lot more safely because it was later in the week. I wasn't doing anything early. I wasn't chasing anything. At that point, like the market had pretty much come to me. So having multiple accounts, that approach, it's not even really something that I did purposefully. It's a product of trading on Breakout and Bybit and BloFin, and like having your life spread amongst different exchanges definitely helps my results, because if any one account runs into an issue, I've got other accounts to come back. And kind of without knowing it, I've given myself like so many attempts in the markets, and that's very important, and that's something I'm going to be talking about and preaching a lot, which is just risk management. You know, how do you survive? Does your capital survive a 5 loss streak? You know what I'm saying? That right there is more important than any of these ideas in the charts. We're going over charts, but what's more important is, can you lose 5 times in a row and still come out and show up for your people the next day? That's I think that's the real mark of a trader. So yeah, man, it's when you lose, it's when you have those loss streaks where you tell yourself, I am a freaking trader. You know what I'm saying? Because I put that trading volume in, I put that work in, and I survived these shots. So it's a good
After
feeling.
5 losses in a row, you have to have like a pacing and muttering angry cigarette to talk yourself. I am a trader. I could do this. And then you just you let it wait, and then the next morning you're like, okay, the charts have developed a little more. I got a better angle on this. But I used to go kind of all in. Now it's like my accounts, let's say 50 grand. I'll only play with 10 grand this month. I physically limit myself. And then
you have to.
Yeah, you have to. If you go for the fences every time, sometimes you swing and miss and shit yourself, and then you're gone for 6 months because you blew your account.
It's
You
a
might not get the
statistical
hero
guarantee. It's a statistical
Yeah.
guarantee.
win.
It is going
the
to
most
happen.
important thing is just stay in the game, and you'll be all right.
You have to, even if you were maximizing it, even if you said, you know, I'm cool with a 30% chance of this money of mine getting bombed or shitbagged, you still can't full port. You can't put the entire account in, because there's a bell curve to the formula of placing a bet. It's like okay, if you want to gamble in crypto, I respect that. You know, you get your weekly disposable income paycheck, and you want to hit it hard. You know, you want to like crank that leverage up and try to make a play. You know, I respect that. But the formula, like betting formulas tell you that if you're putting more than 50% or 30% or whatever your Kelly criteria is in these positions, it's like statistically you're going to lose it if you don't stay within that 20 to 40% window. And even if you stay within that window, there's a chance you still lose it, but there's also a chance that you come up really good. So, you know, that's the speed limit. Whatever your Kelly criteria is, you put that in your chat GPT, and like, you know, overall, your bets should play out in your favor as long as you're literally not full porting like a tard. That's all you got to do.
And somebody earlier, we were talking about Aster, and you made a few grand, and they're like, "Oh, you should have put the whole account in." Let's say he put his whole account in and did really well. That was still the strategically wrong move. Like, you don't ever go all in like that. So what Flopping Groper did was the smart thing to do based on what he knew at the time. So yeah, you make a few grand, you feel good. I could have made more. Well, you could have lost everything too. So you actually came out ahead, and you can keep playing the next day.
Yeah, good point, man. Yeah, my entry was $1.79 on that Astra long that I got.
Oh, Ricky, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I told you guys that you could get lower prices, which we did. We got down to like $1.72. But
Oh, you want to hear a move I made?
sure.
Okay, so it's Solana. Now, the last time we hung out with you people, I was here 2 Sundays ago on the 14th, and Solana was at 240, like 241. And you can look it up. When we were looking at it at the time, I said, "Man, I really want to short this. I really want to short this." And everybody in chat was like, "What, are you out of your mind? You're crazy." Like, who's that nice guy who uses Market Cypher? He's early in the morning. He says, good morning to everybody. Is that like AJ Writes Crypto or something? One of those guys. He's like, "I wouldn't short that if I were you." And I thought, I'm not you. But on the outside, I went, yeah, you're right, guys. I don't want to step in front of a moving train. And we concluded the stream, and then I'm staring at the screen and I go, fuck it, I'm going to short it. So I shorted Solana from 240, and my stop loss was 260. And I watched it over 2 days, and you saw what happened to Solana. Now, I sold out. Yeah, Alex O, that's him. He's a sweetheart. So I sold out at 220, but that was my big move of the week, was doing the opposite of what you guys were excited about. And I felt good. Now, if I had big balls, I would have held on to that down to the 190s, but, you know, I took my money. I'm 240 to 220, 7x leverage, 56% profit. I'm going to leave while I'm ahead. I felt good about that. So that was me celebrating alone in my apartment while everybody was getting wrecked. So that was my win for the week. You got your Aster, I got my Solana, and it feels good. And I can't wait to see what this following week spells out for us. This is going to be so good, you guys. The next 2 months, so good.
Well, I usually don't celebrate when I hear other people losing money. Like, usually that makes me sad. I've shed tears over other people losing money because, like, I feel like if I was doing as good a job as I wished, there wouldn't be so many people that I see online losing money. But unfortunately, I failed over the years to become, you know, a multi-million follower Giga Chad legend of the trading world. I'm still working. I'm still on my way there. So if I say some groundbreaking shit, nobody knows it's groundbreaking. It's just, oh, fuck this guy. Who's this asshole? Fuck this guy, you know? But it's getting there, you know? And it's like person by person, trader by trader. You know, it's like, I want to help people. I don't want to see people lose. So
I don't want to see people lose, but I saw the Jim Cramer effect where the whole crowd was like super bullish on Solana, and the chart did look like that, but I just got this feeling that it's too hot. And I was stepping in front of the train, but it's one of those few things where
also
sometimes you gotta bet against it.
I was hopeful as well. Like when we were up here, back in like the 20th of September, like Bitcoin still had a rising 5MA that was aiming up. Yes, we were falling below it, but you almost wouldn't have wanted to like be that guy who was bearish there, because what if it just simply busted out of that rising 5MA and kept going higher? It wasn't until around like the 21st, that new week, where it kind of just, it was quick. It was because it happened so quick. It's like hard to catch, and also you don't get a bounce off the month to date, which is a very important bias creating level, you know, we just slice right through that. So it was a difficult week of price action. I'm not afraid to admit that even as an experienced analyst and trader, the timing of this, you know, how it went from like a rising 5MA to, oh shit, Bitcoin's down at 111. You know, that's tough to deal with, man. But, you know, when the monthly oscillators are so overextended like this on the macro, we do got to be ready for those big moves, whether it's to the upside and we're still over the 60 line, so it can still pump, but also it's super overbought, so we can still crash too. You just got to be ready for like those times where the market gets the best of you. But I'm sure Alex Zo's fine. He trades pretty small. Most of these,
Yeah, he's good.
Most of these YouTubers trade hella small. Like Sam Price, I never seen him make more than like a couple $100. You know, like I don't really trade that big either compared to last year, but I still trade bigger than a lot of YouTubers. But I think it's important that
he was already deep in the green too. He probably just hit one of his TPs and bailed. He's smart like that. Yeah.
Yep. But that's pretty much it. We went over a lot of recommendations, went over Bitcoin, ETH. This is the last stream until like, I don't know if there's going to be a Wednesday stream, but yeah, no Wednesday stream. And there probably won't be a Sunday stream either. I think the next time I'm back, guys, honestly, is going to be October 8th. But I'll try to get a pre-recorded video out for you guys.
I'll be doing a video here as well.
Yeah, subscribe to Crypto Guy. He'll be covering some things going into the new quarter. Real quick, just to round it out, guess we could take a look at Ripple, Sol real quick. But yeah, coming out of a declining 5MA. These cryptos honestly look very similar, bro. Like they're pumping in downtrends, and it's looking like we're about to get like that monthly leap early because this is the Monday going into the new month. So this is the timing where that would happen. But it's already played out mostly. So if you're sitting on the sidelines, you're actually hoping for like deeper corrections in cryptos. Whether it's Bitcoin touching its Q2 VWAP, sweeping this low, or Ethereum, you know, hitting the Q2, or like just creating a lower low, or XRP perhaps. You know, XRP is under the monthly VWAP right now, so it's like it's hard to say if it's going to go right there or if it's bearish because we're underneath it, you know? So hopefully these insights today helped you guys. And I'll be back on the 8th. Yeah. Hopefully we see greener pastures.